Imagine waking up every single morning to the same sound. Not an alarm, not a message on your phone, but the call of a raven. Not just any raven, but one that has made your world its own, as if fate itself wove your lives together. This is not just a story about a bird. It's about an unexpected friendship that defied logic, expectations, and the natural order of things. And if you stick with me, I promise, it's a story that will touch your heart. Our tale begins with a raven, an unusual creature with a personality that can only be described as extraordinary. This raven wasn't just any bird. It had a peculiar fascination with a man, as if drawn to him by an invisible force. Every morning, without fail, it was the first to greet him, often waking him up with its distinct caw. But that wasn't all. This cheeky bird had a habit of rummaging through his pockets, searching for tiny treasures. Headphones, in particular, seemed to intrigue it the most. In its mind, it wasn't just a bird. It was the man's closest companion. But how did such an unlikely bond even begin? One day at the school where the man taught, his students stumbled upon something fragile and barely alive, a baby bird, abandoned, left to fend for itself. The tiny creature, shivering and vulnerable, had little chance of survival on its own. But the man saw something in it. He saw a flicker of hope, a second chance at life, an opportunity to change its fate. Without hesitation, he took the fledgling under his wing. He provided it warmth, shelter, and a name, Klaus. As Klaus grew, so did its wings. It took to the skies, exploring a world it was meant to be a part of. But no matter how high or far it soared, it always returned. Always, as if an invisible thread bound them together. Day after day, it watched the man's every move, fascinated by the way he lived, the way he worked, the way he loved. And one thing intrigued Klaus above all else, the man's morning ritual, coffee. The man knew caffeine wasn't suitable for birds, but that didn't stop him from making Klaus a part of this sacred routine. He brewed a special cup of decaf, setting it down beside him, and together they sat, silent, yet deeply connected, because it wasn't about the drink. It was about time. It was about belonging. Their bond wasn't just routine. It was something extraordinary. In the stillness of the garden, Klaus would engage in its own morning ritual, dipping, diving, basking in the water, and enjoying what could only be described as a spa day. And afterward, the man would gently dry its feathers using a hairdryer, making sure his companion was safe and comfortable. This wasn't just a pet. This wasn't just a bird. This was friendship in its purest form, a companionship that defied everything we thought we knew about human and animal relationships. The man often found himself wondering, how often do we overlook the unexpected connections life gives us? How often do we take the simplest joys for granted? And so this story leaves us with something more than just a tale. It leaves us with a lesson. Life's most precious moments don't always come from where we expect them. Sometimes they come in the form of an unusual friend, a shared moment, a quiet ritual that speaks louder than words. Let's cherish these moments. Let's appreciate the bonds we are lucky enough to find, whether they come in the form of family, friends, or even an unlikely companion like Klaus. And if this story moved you even a little, if it reminded you of a connection you hold dear, let us know. Share this video with someone who would appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe, because stories like these are meant to be shared. They remind us that magic exists in the simplest of places.